I have a report on the health of the county. Mr. Matthew McConaughey, our health officer, our local health officer is here.
Thank you all. Matthew McConaughey, I'm the health officer for Wicomico County, and I have Christina Gray, my planning and assessment program director, and also the epidemiologist for the health department. If you just bear with us for a second as we get our presentation ready.
All right.
Okay, with that note, I will.
You move me on?
Yeah.
Next slide. So our fiscal year 25 permit issued via in the MD turnaround times, we were compliant with all standards. So that was new construction permits were done within 3 days, repairs within 7 days, and well constructions within 3 days. And we were we had the third most permits in the state issued for wells for 25. Go ahead.
These were permits that were, I guess, maybe applicants that were turned in 25.
Yes, that's correct. So this is based off the MDE's turnaround times. We have to be within 80% of those times. That's what MDE is looking for. And as you can see, we were within those criterias for all three of the permitting types.
So you had good compliance on the 25.
Yeah.
Probably still working on the 23, 24, which is the next slide, I guess, right?
Yeah. So our current fiscal year, we are below that standard for septic repair and well construction. We're currently sitting at 75 for repair and 70% for well construction. We were down 2 licensed environmental health specialists through quarter 1, 2, and now just hiring at the end of quarter 3 for trainees. So we should see an increase of that in quarter 4, and hopefully be closer to the 80% standard set by MDE. Overall, when you're looking at our permitting, we have 147 permit applications that we don't have complete information on, and we have completed 337 permits this fiscal year. Breakdown for that is we've issued 219 well constructions permits, 8 tank only, 63 replacement, and 70 new construction permits. On land evaluation side, we have completed 34 land evaluations. We do have 109 open applications. Unfortunately, this year we did not see a true wet season. But we did work with Maryland Department of the Environment for incorporation of an alternate testing for land evaluation, so what we can do outside of a wet season. So for that, we're doing backhoe test bits, and we are reaching out to landowners who meet the criteria or whose information that we have based off their soil profiles, and trying to get those processed. We have offered this to 24 properties. 10 have submitted their signed forms, and we have we've scheduled 7, and we've done testing on 4 of those so far. And some of these are subdivisions, so one may be where we're out on 5 plots of properties. Oh, cut out on me.
Mr. Connie?
Yes.
Just for clarity, I guess on the previous slide, you talked about the third most in the state for permits
For well.
for well.
Yeah.
Is that, trying to follow up and understand here, I guess, and I see the other chart after that, but is this new construction, or is this?
So that's just well construction permit.
And is that irrigation?
Yeah, it could be irrigation or it could be potable.
Okay. And then, I guess I'm trying to get a better understanding there is, are we, with, how about, I guess, septic system, where do we rank there as far as?
I would have to pull the numbers from MDE just for comparison's sake. I don't have that off the top of my head, so
Yeah,
I
no.
apologize.
Would have been surprised if you did. But yeah, no, I guess what I'm trying to get an understanding is, are we,
Yeah, we
We,
are. Yes, so we do a lot of applications. We're probably up there across the state. We're on the higher end of permitting.
we are going into we are in our process now for updating our comprehensive plan for the county and just making sure that we are still growing, closer to the prior funding area and not plowing over more farmland for more houses, or cutting down forest for more houses. So I don't know if you can get more clarity as far as, what the root of that is, or are we just in a situation where, we know we're about 13 inches below or whatever it was for our irrigation, for our,
Yeah,
so I don't know if that's a
it
big
fluctuates between I think 25 and 13 inches right now below the.
Yeah, as of yesterday, I
Yeah.
think we were. So anyway, I don't know if that's an issue, but I guess I'd love to know in the future: are we still growing as a county with housing in the priority funding area? Are we starting to see more of that creep out? And then separately, just going forward, you don't have to answer this now, but just curious: is this as part of the drought? Is that what we're seeing for well construction? Is that a response to that, or is this more? We've also heard, we know that there's issues along Nanticoke and Bivalve and other areas with saltwater intrusion, and farmers having to go deeper for some of those wells. So trying to get clarity on that. You don't have to answer that now, but that'd be nice to know in the future.
As far as the well construction, I think it probably does have to do with the drought conditions, people being out of water. Saltwater intrusion, that hasn't been a major concern yet in the county. There may have been one or two wells that had that tested and reported, but there's not been widespread issues in regards to that. And then also, of course, irrigation wells, things of that nature. And then we've had some groundwater issues that have required new wells to be double cased and in a confining aquifer that have increased that over this past year.
And how many? I don't know if you do know this, but how many failing septics do we have in the county at this point in time?
At this point in time, are you talking about properties that are on holding tanks or that have submitted for a replacement system?
If you had to guess how many, we know that there's a lot of folks who have failing septic systems who just aren't reporting or not finding out until they go to sell their home. Do you have a rough estimate of how many?
Yes.
Septic systems?
So for replacement systems, we currently have, 177 open applications right now for a replacement system. And 114 of those, we're still waiting on information from the property owners.
Thank you.
Any questions from anyone? I guess when you say that about the success on permits issued and applications completed, it still seems to conflict with when you say that open initial site visits are not completed, and in 25 there's 25%, and 26 there's about 55%. I get that really confuses me on that, because that sounds like the application wasn't completed or the permit wasn't issued unless.
Are you talking about the land evaluation side of things?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Isn't that part of the completion of the other processes?
So the initial site visit not completed, I believe that definition is if we've gone out there and, sorry, I just lost my train.
So on this report, there are 102 total applications for land evaluations where an initial site visit has not been documented as completed. So as you scroll down, the 54 and over half are ones that were received this fiscal year. So so it moves backwards that way. But yes, there are 31% of all the applications are.
And what's considered a completed, initial site visit completed is that we've done piezometer readings, we've done auger holes, we've assessed the soil profile. So that is when a completed site visit, initial site visit is done. So we may have done that work, but we haven't done a piezometer reading or evaluated the water table, so they have not been completed yet. Once that is all completed, that's when they move over to the open initial site visit completed, and we're waiting on a design, or we're waiting for a season where a sand mound system could be installed. So it's just, it's not to say we haven't started the work, we just haven't finished the work needed to issue a permit.
Yeah. So let's just say you visit a site and you determine it's not any good for new septic or something. Now, if the homeowner believes otherwise, is the homeowner able to get a hold of the documentation that was taken to determine on their own whether or not the job was done correctly or incorrectly? And if so, could they take that to a higher power to maybe get a second opinion instead of going at the word of one man?
Yeah, so there's an appeals process, and that is given for any time we've determined a final decision. We provide those appeal rights, and we do provide any documentation that we have for the complete file.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Questions? I've got one. Yes, Jeff.
So, in the past, you all design or approve the design of the systems correctly. Do you design any of the systems yourself?
No,
They have to do the design, engineer it, then they bring it to you, and you approve it to be a working model that will.
yes, if it meets the minimum specifications required for the work done.
Who's responsible, and I've asked this question before, and I guess I'll get the same answer. Who's responsible if that system fails per your review and approval of design?
There's a lot of different conditions that may affect a system. Do they have a leaky toilet? Are they running a lot of laundry? You could overload the system, and that could cause a premature failure. So it really is based on probably the design and the installer. They may have a warranty for the system, but it's not a finite science to establish the length of life or necessarily what may have caused a premature failure of the system.
So the health department wouldn't be responsible.
We would not be responsible for that liability.
That's the answer I got the last time I asked.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time. Entertain a motion of council to adjourn. Hang on a second. Sorry.